rename the fraction as a percent. So that's what we're going to do. You can see here we've got 4/9 and 3/7. And let's have a go at them one at a time. Now, one of the key things to remember, of course, is that percent means per 100, or out of 100, same thing. And when we're converting fractions to percents, let me just put this in the background here. At some point, doesn't matter where, we will be multiplying by 100 because we need to deal with numbers out of 100. So at some point, we will be multiplying by 100. Let's have a go at 4/9. Here's one way to do it. You can start straight off by multiplying by 100. So how does that look? Well, you have to convert the 100 into a fraction. So it'll be 4/9 times 100 over 1. Any whole number expressed as a fraction is going to be over 1. What does that look like next? Well, it looks like this. 4 times 100 equals 400. 9 times 1, that equals 9. We're nearly there. It says here 400 divided by 9. Well, we have to calculate 400 divided by 9, so let's do that. I'll do that over here. 400, and it's going to be divided by 9. What I might do is I might put in a decimal point and add a couple more zeros, because you never know, I might need them. 9 into 4, that's not going to happen, so that's a 0. Move the 4 over, so carry the 4. 9 into 40 now. Okay, 9 into 40 is 4. And that leaves me with 6 left over. Oh, sorry, that leaves me with 4. That leaves me with 4 left over. 9 into 40 goes 4. And again, leaves me with 4. 9 4s are 36. I'm up to the point, so put the point in. 9. Okay, so this is going to go on forever by the looks of it. It's a recurring number. Okay. I've just done it like that to make it handy for me. So essentially, you have 44%. If you had to round off to 1 decimal place, so 1 decimal place, you would, okay, great. There's another option. You could have 44.4%. If you were rounding off to 2 decimal places, yep. Okay, so 2 decimal places would be 44.44%, and so on. Now, there is another way to do it. Well, there's lots of ways to do it, but another common way to do it would be to start with your 4/9, okay, and just do this equation, 4 divided by 9. 4 divided by 9. Again, I know I'm going to get some decimal points, decimal places, so let's put in a decimal point and a few zeros to help me out as I calculate. So 9 into 4, well, that doesn't happen, that's 0. This 4 gets carried over here. I'm up to the decimal point, put the point in. 9 into 40, that's how many times? 4, right? 4 left over. 9 into 40, it's 4. Okay, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Keeps on going forever and ever and ever. At this point, though, okay, let's just rationalize this. It's 0.444. As I said, at some point, you have to multiply by 100. So let's multiply 0.444 by 100. What that means is that decimal point goes this way, however many zeros there are. 1, 2 in 100. So 1, 2. And again, it equals 44.4%. So you can do it that way as well. You know that I could keep going with zeros and make it 44.44%, and so on and so on. So there are 2 simple ways that you could do it. The last way that's kind of common is to use a calculator. So let's use a calculator right here, and we'll go 4 divided by 9, right? Then we do percent and equals. And there you go. 44.4 recurring percent. Just like that. Very, very simple. Okay, let's move on and try 3 out of 7. Let's go in reverse order this time. Let's use the calculator and find out what 3 out of 7 is. 3, right, divided by 7, hit the percent button, equals. And there you go, 42.857. %. If we want to round it off to one decimal place, it'll be 42.9%. If you wanted to round it off to two decimal places, 42.86%. So, three different answers. Let's see how we can work this out in a couple of other ways. So first of all, let's treat this as though it's a fraction and we're going to multiply by 100 straight off the bat. So multiply by 100. Remember, both need to be fractions if we're going to go with this method. So 100 is 100 over 1 as a fraction. 3 times 100 gives me 300. And 7 times 1 is 7. Cool. So all I have to do now is 300 divided by 7. Now I know I'm going to probably get some decimals. In fact, I know I'm going to have decimals because look at the answer we got with our calculator. And let's actually do 7 into 300. So 7 into 3 is 0. The 3 gets carried over to the first 0 here. So 7 into 30, that's 4. That's 2 left over. 7 into 20, that's 2 as well. 7 2s are 14, so we've got 6 to carry. We're up to the decimal point, so let's put the decimal point in. 7 into 60, that goes 8 times. 7 8s are 56, so carry 4. 7 into 40, that's 5. Because 7 5s are 35, so that carries 5, and that's a 7, and so on. And so on, that'll be a 10. Okay, let's stop here. And that is what we had over here as well. And so I can convert that. That is a conversion straight into a percent. 42 point, let's round it off, 9%. Okay, so there was that way. The other way, remember, was to start with 3 divided by 7. So 3 over 7 really does equal 3 divided by 7. And I'll put in some zeros here after the decimal point to hold the place because I know I'm going to need them. 7 into 3, that's not going to happen. So 3 goes over here to make a 30. We're up to the decimal point. 7 into 30, that does happen. So that's 4, 2 left over. 7 into 20, that's 2. And that gives me 6 left over. 7 into 60, that gives me 8. Let's put one more 0. That gives me 4. 7 into 40 is 5. Okay, stop there. And multiply 0.4285 by 100. Okay, so the decimal point shifts from here to here, 2 spaces. And so yes, what happens is we end on 42.85%. We can round that to 42.9%. So there you go. There's a few ways that you can convert any fraction really into a percent, and hopefully you'll find those nice and straightforward.